What's happening, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to Junkdrummer TV, where I give my initial reactions, my hot takes, and my analysis on the drummers of today and yesterday, and maybe tomorrow if I stick around that long. I'm a professional drum teacher and gigging musician, and I have been for the last 20 years. So today's episode is a redemption episode, in a sense, because I've already done an episode on Travis Barker. It was episode number 5. Now, unfortunately, I did not do my research, and I, unbeknownst to me, reviewed him playing a song that he did not record. As I said at the beginning of that video, I didn't know that much about Travis Barker and Blink-182, other than over the years, many students coming to me and having me help them learn his songs. But by the time they got big, I was already out of my punk rock phase, and I was in college, and I was in that insufferable music school jazz snob mode, and so punk rock did not exist to me. But Blink-182 fans were very triggered that I dare review and analyze a video of him playing a song that he didn't record. Something that I thought was quite irrational, since I did the same thing with the Matt Cameron video of him playing a Pearl Jam song that he didn't record. So what's the deal, Blink-182 fans? I don't know. But I did promise you that I would be doing another one, and this song, Hearts All Gone, is that right? Yeah, Hearts All Gone. Hearts All Gone. This was the one that was the most requested out of the comments section. So here you go. Secondly, before we go on, I would like to address the most hate that I've ever gotten online. Well, okay, it's neck and neck with the hate from the Lars Ulrich video, because I did a video showing a bunch of Lars Ulrich fells, and man, the Metallica fans came out of the woodwork to tell me how stupid and terrible I am. But man, there's some funny stuff on there. He does a lot of funny shit badly these days. Things you don't see pretty much any other drummer do. But besides that, I said that Travis Barker had bad technique in that video. And I was not clear enough about why I was pointing that out. Stick around, because I'm going to address that again. But before we get into it, I'd like to put a picture right here of a picture from Travis's Instagram. That, kids, is what bad technique looks like. Now, I'm also going to address, just because you have bad technique doesn't mean that you can't be great, because Travis Barker is really great. But we're going to address a lot of that today again, and hopefully I'll be clearer than I was the first time. So with that being said, let's watch Travis Barker with Blink-182 play Hearts All Gone. So, man, he's a really good drummer, man. He's a fantastic drummer. He I think, is the most creative punk rock drummer ever. Right there. That's a beautiful example of it. You know, when you're playing punk rock grooves, you know, you're thinking you're playing in double time, and you're playing the snare drum on the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I've never seen this before. He's playing a two-handed 16th note groove on the hi-hat. I think that playing breakneck punk rock can sometimes be handcuffing in the creative realm, because you are playing so fast and you're playing snare drums on all the ands, and you're doing it most of the time, which means now you've taken spots out of the measure to be able to do some creative stuff. Travis Barker, I think, is the one that uses that style the most creatively. My other favorite punk rock drummers are like Trey Cool, obviously. I mean, I know you can bitch about Green Day now, but man, the 1039 Smooth Out Slappy Hours EP is great, and Dookie's great. I love Brooks Wakerman from Bad Religion, because eventually I did grow out of that up my own ass jazz snobbery that every music school kid gets into, and I did come back to punk rock. But yeah, that is a very cool way to mix it up. He's great, but man, watching him play is painful. Remember that picture from it before, kids. But yeah, this is the way I like my punk rock. Fast and loud. another great example of using a form of drums that there's a lot of snobbery out there that thinks that, oh, you're a punk rock drummer, you're not very good. That's not true. That bell pattern that he just played there, the 1 and 2 and a yam for yam, 1 and 2 and a yam for yam. Again, he could have just went, but he took it the next step and made it just a little bit more creative with, adding that, it's 1 and 2 and a yam for yam, 1 and 2 and a yam for yam. A lot faster than that, obviously. But that's another great example of just the greatness of Travis Barker. I said before, he's that second generation drum god. He's the guy that's on all the posters, and he's the guy that has made another generation of drummers want to be drummers. He's kind of like the Ringo of the late 90s, 2000s. I know that's blasphemy, Beatles fans, but it's true if you've dealt with kids. That's cool, man. I really like that bell pattern. Okay, so right there just shows that really stiff, rough technique that Travis Barker has. And when I talk about technique, I talk about it in the sense of I am a drum teacher, and 6 days a week, people come into my studio and pay me a pretty decent wage to show them the most efficient, easiest way to get good. That's why I always talk about technique on this channel, because this channel is not just a standard React video channel. This is more of an educational channel, in my opinion. That's how I have set it up. Travis Barker has really bad technique. He does too much. He has to do too much because of just the way that he death grips the drumsticks. And again, I'm going to put that picture right here again. This should never happen when you're playing drums. You should never skin your thumbs like 5 or 6 layers of skin. That should never happen. Again, the reason why I say this is that Travis Barker can get by with it because he's amazing. He is a genetic freak. When he was created, they put all the musical talent in his DNA. More than likely, those of you watching at home, and myself too, we are not that. We are mere mortals trying to do the best we can. So when I talk about technique and I show something that's bad, and this is really bad technique, it's not because Travis Barker isn't amazing. He is. He's one of the greatest drummers ever. He's definitely going to be in the Modern Drummer Hall of Fame. He's going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But if you are a drummer out there and you're, on the struggle bus with the rest of us trying to be as good as possible, do not play like him. Do what he does. Play what his parts are and be encouraged by that, but do not play his technique because it's really bad. And before I get even more comments more comments saying that I'm some nobody idiot that don't know what I'm talking about, I am some no one idiot, but I do know what I'm talking about this, and there's a bunch of drum teachers out there that will agree with me. So do what he does, just don't do it how he does it. Yeah, even in his own book, he talks about he knows his technique's bad. He said it on the Joe Rogan podcast, too. Yeah, he's got good coordination, man, just be able to just ride on that left hand. Like that. Oh, yeah, brought it halftime. Yeah, just... I'm going to bring that back. That's such a very standard punk rock groove right there. If I'm not mistaken, that's almost the same groove that's in Anarchy in the UK at the beginning of it. It's that very standard floor tom to the top tom, sort of that kind of thing. I'm going to bring this back. Watch how he adds the ride cymbal bell, which is a thing that I do a lot. I love that. Using your ride cymbal bell as almost like a tom, and the hi-hat. So he takes this trope, this thing that you've heard 1,000 times in other punk rock songs, and he adds something to it and he makes it better. Check this out. I love this. He's so good. There. Just building up to what I'm sure will be the chorus again. Wish we could hear the music better. Yeah, man, and something that he does really great, man, when you're playing these breakneck tempos, it's really easy to keep pushing and keep going faster, and it's also easy to get gassed and you know, move the tempo down, and he does it, man. He's a rock. Woo! You know, those right there, those are classic punk rock drum fills right there. Back and forth like that. Yeah, he always does that little bit of extra creativity in his grooves, and it's why he's one of the best drummers in the world. So there you go, Redemption Song, everybody. For all you Blink-182 fans that watched my first episode, and there's been a lot of them, that's a song that I know for a fact that he recorded. So again, Travis Barker, the things you can take away from him: creativity in standard tropes that tons of other drummers have played in before. He takes standard things that you've heard in lots of punk rock songs before, and he adds just a little bit of something that makes it his own. It's why he stands out. You know, Trey Cool is kind of that standard, like, he plays just like that standard, just punk rock drumming that you've heard. He's really good at it, but he's not as creative as Travis Barker is. Travis Barker his creativity is like a +10. His technique is a -5. I can't stress this enough, and I tell this to all of my students who worship him, and there's a lot of them. Be inspired by what he does. Do not take inspiration from how he does it. So there you go. Travis Barker, Blink-182. He also played with Boxcar Racer and the Aquabats, and is it Angels and Airwaves, maybe another one. One of the things I like that he does a lot, there's a lot of videos of him putting drums over hip-hop stuff. I love those videos. So if y'all enjoyed all that, I now have a PayPal donation link in description if you would like to help support the channel. Also, if you'd also like to help me out, please like, comment, and share. And remember, subscription and notification bell. Double tap subscription and notification bell. And remember, keep practicing until it's easy.